Welcome to Sex Ed with DB. I'm your host, Danielle Bezalel. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the podcast. If you love and support the work that we do, join my crew on Patreon to win amazing prizes like our adorable merch, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, private sessions with yours truly, and incredible sex toys. Go to patreon.com/sexedwithdb to join my crew. Get discounts at all of my favorite brands at sexedwithdb.com. And follow us on Instagram at sexedwithdbpodcast and on TikTok at sexedwithdb. If you want to partner with us, email us at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. Hello, folks. Happy Friday. So glad to be back. Did you have a good week? I really hope you had a good week. It is spring. Spring has sprung. Let's fucking talk about the morning after pill. Someone wrote in, like, what are the key things that I really need to know about the morning after pill? And we get a lot of questions about this. There's a lot of confusion specifically around this idea that emergency contraception causes an abortion, and it does not. I repeat, emergency contraception does not cause an abortion, and emergency contraception is different from medications that cause an abortion. So, once again, there's a lot of confusion about what emergency contraception is, how it works, the different emergency contraception options that really exist out there, and how emergency contraception really differs from medications that cause abortion. So let's understand the medically accurate facts together, shall we? So let's back the truck up here. What is emergency contraception? Emergency contraception, or EC, as I'm going to be referring to it in this episode, is a method of preventing pregnancy after having unprotected sex. And you may know it as the morning after pill or Plan B, right? So how does this work? EC works by preventing or delaying ovulation. Now, ovulation is when an egg is released from an ovary during the menstrual cycle, right? And so if an egg is not released, that means bingo, bango, bongo, there's nothing for the sperm to fertilize, and therefore no pregnancy occurs. And so to be clear, once again, EC does not work to end an existing pregnancy. It only works to prevent the egg from being released. Now, let's get into effective EC options. So, the most effective EC option, there are three that I'm going to talk about in total. The most effective is actually the copper IUD. Having a medical provider insert a copper IUD, which is an intrauterine device, within 5 days of unprotected sex is the most effective method of preventing pregnancy. And it also has this wonderful added bonus of preventing pregnancy for up to 12 years after it's put in your uterus, which is amazing. 12 years is a very long time. How effective is it? It reduces the risk of pregnancy by 99.9+%. It is one of the most effective EC options, as well as separately birth control options, contraception options. Now, what is the most effective EC pill? It is called Ella, ELLA. Getting Ella prescribed by a medical provider and taking it within 5 days of unprotected sex is the second most effective method of preventing pregnancy. And as you probably have heard, or maybe you need a reminder, the sooner the pill is taken after unprotected sex, the better it is at preventing pregnancy. And Ella works best for people with uteruses that weigh up to 195 pounds and reduces the risk of pregnancy by around 85%. Maybe you don't have access to a provider really quickly, right? Many people who have unprotected sex, they're like, oh shit, now what? What do I do? Maybe they can't get in touch with their doctor. Maybe they can't get an appointment, right? And so it's definitely realistic and understandable that you want an option that's easily accessible, right? And so what is the most easily accessible EC pill? Plan B. This is probably the most well-known option. Plan B and its generics are available for purchase without a prescription at your local drugstore, so CVS, Walgreens, Rite Aid, etc. And taking Plan B within 5 days of unprotected sex is the third most effective option at preventing pregnancy. And the sooner the pill is taken, once again, after unprotected sex, the better it is at preventing pregnancy. Now, Plan B works best for people with uteruses that weigh up to 165 pounds, so less than Ella. Ella has that 195-pound weight limit, whereas Plan B has 165 pounds. And it reduces the risk of pregnancy by around 75% to 89%. There's quite a big range in there. It depends on how much someone weighs. It depends on how quickly they take the pill after unprotected sex, etc. If you weigh more than 195 pounds, one of these EC options can and should still be used to prevent pregnancy. Weighing over 195 pounds makes these options less effective at preventing pregnancy, but not ineffective. So I really want to stress for those of you and those of your friends who you want to share this info with, if you weigh above 195 pounds, that doesn't mean you just shouldn't take any EC option. One of these options is definitely way better and more effective than nothing. So it's really important to get that point across. And just FYI, a little terrible factoid. According to the CDC, the average American woman aged 20 and over is around 171 pounds. So this means that the most accessible form of EC, which is Plan B, is not as effective as it can be for the average person with a uterus. And you might be thinking, this is really fucked up and ridiculous, and the pharmaceutical industry really needs to be more weight inclusive. And like, if you're thinking that, we completely agree. It's really ridiculous that the most accessible form of emergency contraception does not work for the average American woman. And now to the pièce de résistance. How is EC different from medications that cause abortion? Emergency contraception, or EC, once again, it's a method of preventing pregnancy after having unprotected sex, whereas medications that cause abortion safely end an existing pregnancy. So that's the difference. EC prevents pregnancy or works to prevent pregnancy, and medications that cause abortion safely end a pregnancy. And it's really, really critical to note, depending on which US state you live in, it may be very challenging, risky, or illegal to purchase medications that cause abortion. So I highly recommend you go to reprolegalhelpline.org if you have questions about abortion and the laws in your state, including self-managed abortion or judicial bypass, and they can help. So hope that you got all of your FAQs answered about the morning after pill. Please pass on this information. I feel like it's so critical that people have information that helps them feel more secure and safe and in the know about their reproductive health and about their reproductive health options. And so thank you so much for listening. I hope you have a fantastic weekend ahead, and I will talk to you all soon. Have a great, great weekend. Our creator, host, and executive producer is me, Danielle Bezalel, aka DB. Our co-producer and communications lead is Catherine Cohen. Our social media intern is Sarah Kelly. Our music theme is by Hook Sounds. Thank you so much to our featured guests, partners, and our listeners. Want to advertise with us? Email us at sexedwithdb@gmail.com. For more sex ed content, follow us on IG at sexedwithdbpodcast and on TikTok at sexedwithdb. See you next time.